This is Jay on drums, recording one. Hello, my pack, my tribe. Welcome back to Howling After Dark. Okay, so here's the deal. My longtime listeners, I'm sure, have noticed I've been gone for a while now. And I haven't really had an opportunity to do everything I normally do online. Things as social networks, Facebook, Twitter, etc., because of my work schedule. I'm like working pretty much all the time. And when I'm not, I'm having to take care of other things. And so I never really have, time to do stuff like this as much as I would like. But lately, I've had pretty regular nights off around Tuesday night. So I decided to start doing this again. And hopefully my work schedule doesn't change again. It may not. I'll try and let you know what's going on as it happens. So there's some things that have happened to me recently that kind of prompted this, and also to kind of let you know. I actually haven't done an investigation in quite a while because, once again, work schedule, haven't had time. Um, except for what little investigations I can do, at home or close by. And I have done a few, and have gotten some pretty interesting stuff. Um, Case in point, I'll tell you this story, and then I'll see if I can't show some evidence. If I can figure out how to get it onto my computer from my phone. Um, so let me start by telling the story. All right. So I work at the spay neuter clinic for one of a kind pet rescue. Which for those that are local in Ohio, you may already know where that is, but if not, I'm sure you're probably familiar with Exchange Street. Um, and it's right off of Exchange. I don't know if it's Street or Avenue or Boulevard. It's just Exchange to me. So, regardless, I'm sure you know where Exchange and Market and all that is if you've spent any amount of time in the area. Um, so, a little bit outside of downtown Akron is where I'm at. And my work is actually a little bit farther away from the downtown area, kind of on the outskirts, downtown Akron. And kind of in between my work and my home, there is a Catholic high school called, or well, it's not just a high school. It's I think all grades from like fifth or sixth all the way up until senior year. Anyways, so I have to pass by this place every night to and from work, and a lot of the time I'll be walking from work to my home simply because I don't have my own transportation right now. I'm looking to get a motorcycle here pretty soon, but I don't have it yet. And therefore, I'm walking to and from work, etc., or taking a bus or what have you. And so, anyways, this was like several months ago. Is actually still 2016 at the time. I think it was right around late September, early October. So, anyways, I'm walking home from work, and you know that feeling you get sometimes, you just feel like somebody's watching you. Like you get the little chills, and your hair will stand up on the back of your neck, all that. That's what I felt, but it was like thick. That I don't know another word for it. It was just so thick, that feeling. Like I couldn't shake it. It was like I could almost feel bad intentions coming from this place. Now, keep in mind, I have no idea at all, um, what was going on. I don't know if there was some kind of spiritual warfare going on there, which is kind of what I think it is, but I don't know. Um, I don't know if something just set this off. I have no idea. But I know what I felt. Now, keep in mind, this is like right around the time that the whole like creepy clown thing was happening like really bad all over the country. And in my mind, that's kind of what I initially thought it was. I thought it was like one of these creepy, motherfuckers trying to mess with me or whatever. But I didn't see anyone. I didn't see a creepy clown. I didn't see anything. So I kind of ignored it the first night and just kept walking home. So then I had to work again the next night, and it happened again. Only this time it was even thicker, I guess you could say. And so I took out my handy dandy smartphone and opened up the camera app on it and was holding it in my hand as I'm walking so that it's like pointing behind me as I'm taking shots, like kind of nonchalantly as if to not give away that, I'm taking pictures. And hold on, I'm trying to get to my website here. By the way, if you want to join me in the chat room, the website is ghostwolfradio.com. I'll see if I can't actually find a way to post this picture. Hush, babies. That is my dogs you hear, by the way. Jingles! Hush, Bobby. It's okay. It's okay. He's a senior Jack Russell, and, typical of Jack Russells, he barks at every sound in the house. Even if it's somebody he knows and loves, just like going to the bathroom or something. The second he hears a door or a creak or anything happen in the house, he starts to go off. Which is fine, but unfortunately, my babies, my pets, they start to go off when he goes off, and then there's that whole thing where they just bark for like 5 minutes straight unless you can get them to shut up. So, just to kind of warn you about that, we might get interrupted a little bit. Alright, hurry up and load, you stupid thing. Okay. What? Are you serious? Alright, hold on a second. There's... sorry, folks. There's something going on with my player on my website, and I'm trying to figure out how. I'm guessing that they like updated their embeddable player for websites, and I don't have the latest version. So I'm gonna try and fix this while I'm still doing the show. I don't understand. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like they updated their site, and so um, okay, that's not what I want. Okay. Not making any sense. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like redo this whole thing, evidently. So I will leave that till later. Anyways, so in one of these pictures, what I caught, or how it appears to me, anyways, uh, I see looks like my head with horns, and right next to it is what looks like me wearing my motorcycle jacket, but with like my features slightly twisted. So it's like me, but not me, if that makes any sense. And so I kind of figured that what must be going on is there's some kind of spiritual warfare going on. And this demon or negative entity, whatever it is, wants to use my abilities and twist them by like I don't know if it was trying to possess me or whatever, but I figured that out, and then like the next night I walked home and the same thing happened again, and I said aloud as I'm passing the place, "You cannot have me. I do not belong to you." And evidently that worked because I never felt that or saw anything since then. You're going to want me to do this show once again. And I think that the show next week, by the way, is going to be something that I haven't done for a while. It's going to be pretty off the hook. It's a subject that a lot of people comment on and say that they enjoy. I'm going to do a new paranormal true crime show. What's paranormal true crime, you might be asking? Well, here it is. It's true crime with paranormal aspects to it. Case in point, one of my favorite episodes, that in particular subject that I did, was about the Black Dahlia and about how evidently her spirit haunts, well, her haunts, places that Elizabeth Short was known to frequent, have been reporting more and more lately sightings of her. And I did a show that started off with that story, and I actually went in depth about the whole case from beginning to end, um, including new advancements in the story. Because there are two writers, both of which are former police officers, and they both have two different theories about who the Black Dahlia killer could have been. One is Steve Hodel. He wrote actually a series of books called The Black Dahlia Avenger. Um, I think it's 1, 2, and 3, if I remember right. But you can actually look that up online, and he has a website that you can check out if you. And it'll actually show you snippets of the book, and it's very compelling stuff. He actually believes his father, George Hodel, was the perpetrator of the crime, and it's seemingly some evidence to back that up. However, I don't think it's true. Um, I actually am siding, so to speak, with author and former Montana Sheriff's Deputy James Cameron, not to be confused with the. Uh, I think he was actually a Montana State Trooper or something, but regardless, he actually worked part of uh, an Edwards case. And he believes that Edward Wayne Edwards, and I actually agree with him because the circumstantial evidence is overwhelming, uh, that Edward Wayne Edwards is the most prolific serial killer in history. He believes that he's not only responsible for the Black Dahlia as well as a very similar crime that happened here in Ohio years earlier. He believes he was also the Zodiac killer. He believes that he's responsible for the killings of the 8-year-old boys that the West Memphis Three actually went to prison for. He believes that he was actually the person that killed Lacey Peterson as well as Jean-Benet Ramsey. And he believes he was the Zodiac killer. And there's actually compelling evidence supporting all of this. Things that could be as contrived as letters that Edwards wrote that he later in an interview said never happened, or things that are absolutely provable, like the fact that we know he was in the area when almost all of these crimes happened. For example, we know for a fact that not only was he in Los Angeles, and he was a teenager at the time, mind you, not only was he in Los Angeles where Elizabeth Short, aka the Black Dahlia, was murdered, we also know for a fact, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he knew her, at least fleetingly, because there's actually a photograph of a young teenage Edwards with Elizabeth Short. So they knew each other, at least in passing. So, and there's tons of evidence like that in almost every single case that this writer James H. Cameron is linking to him. That's overwhelming evidence. As far as the West Memphis 3 killings go, uh, that evidence wasn't even captured by him. It was actually captured by a documentary film crew that was filming the documentary Paradise Lost. There's a scene where two of the parents of one of the victims were at the little boy's gravesite, and in that he walking back and forth with his cane. So, like, once again, evidence is overwhelming, and they're actually finding out more and more stuff, including stuff that I probably haven't even heard about yet. So yeah, next week I will be doing a true crime show. Um, there's also going to be a live EVP show coming up, which is going to be off the hook. I'm going to have some more guests on the show, um, but I'm not going to talk about those just yet because they're kind of surprises. But I will tell you this much: some people are going to flip their lids when they find out who one of these guests in the near future is going to be. People are going to lose their minds and be like, holy crap, dude. um, so, anyways, what I really wanted to talk about tonight, and well, now I've only got about 15 minutes left um, in this session, anyways. Uh, what I wanted to talk about tonight was the power of belief. And this is actually something I've talked about several times before, but it kind of got revitalized, if you will, in a conversation I recently had with a good friend of mine. Um, I'm not going to drop any names, so I'm just going to tell you what happened. Just because I don't want to embarrass anybody, you know. So, what my friend told me is, and he, kind of a Christian. Um, he goes to church and all that stuff, and that's great. I'm not going to bag anybody for their beliefs. But somehow uh, the conversation came up with his pastor about his work in the paranormal field. He's actually one of the members of my team. And basically what this preacher said was that if you see ghosts, you don't love God. You're basically in league with the devil. That would be the equivalent of what he said. And, if that's his viewpoint, that's his viewpoint. There's nothing I can do about that. But what I will say is this. These people that act like him, first and foremost, are not only hypocrites, they're going against their own teachings. Because it says, and it explicitly says, thou shalt not judge lest ye be judged. Basically meaning, by their own beliefs, that the only individual that has the right to judge another person is God. That's it. Hush, babies, hush. Jingles! Jingles! Come here. Hey! Excuse me a second, folks. Oh my God. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry about that. Like I was saying, the little one has to bark at every frickin' thing, and then the other ones start going off. Anyways, so and I'm not saying that this pastor is entitled to whatever his beliefs are. You know, I'm not going to judge him the way he apparently judges people like me. But just because he's judging and vocalizing it to another person, basically in a way putting them down for what they believe is wrong, flat out. Jingle, shut the fuck up. Sorry about that. Sometimes you gotta be kind of like verbally rough with them. Uh, Otherwise, he'll just keep going off. Anyhow, um, and that actually sparked another conversation that, although related, conversation that we had and have been having back and forth. And he was really unsure of what his stance was until all this happened with this pastor. Um, Basically, I've always told him that my theory on it is that no religion is technically wrong because God or Great Spirit or Buddha, whatever you want to call it, is all one guy. It's like all one God, just different like faces of it. Because and if you think about it logically, it makes sense. Because with so many different types of people in the world, so many different cultural differences, so many geographical differences, so many like all these different sorts of differences from different people all over the world, it makes sense that he would be different for each. Because what these people seem to have forgotten, it's not about the message. It's about what the message says. It's basically saying, be a good person. Be nice to people. Don't put people down. Don't be disloyal. Don't be, hateful. Don't be mean. In essence, don't be a bad person. And regardless of what your culture is, or heritage, or whatever, or where you come from, I think we can all agree on that point. The ideal is to be the best person you can be. Yet somehow, every time, I'm about to kill me a dog. Not really, but anyhow. And so we were talking about the power of belief. And said, man, like that ties into my most common theory, the one that most people hear me talk about, especially on my show, is about how the paranormal the way it works is like you find what you're looking for. So if you're all about the negative, evil stuff, that's what you're going to find because that's all you're looking for. If you're about the positive stuff, that's what you're going to find because that's what you're looking for. And, on the same hand, if you're open to whatever the possibilities are, you'll probably find a little bit of both. I know I certainly have. Yara! Sorry about that. Anyhow, he's a good boy. I have to do that because he won't listen otherwise. And you see how quiet he just got. And pretty much immediately. And you have to do that. You have to kind of yell at him because he actually won't be able to hear you unless you do. And now he's laying down being a good boy, so everybody wins. Anyways, so it ties into the whole theory about how you find what you're looking for in the paranormal field. It's that power of belief. It really is. And spirits pay attention to that stuff too. And I'll talk more about that when I'm back for part 2. Coming up next. Don't go anywhere.